Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about some stuff. But before we do, Easter is a time where there is the shedding of blood. At least remember that. The shedding of blood so that our lives could be better. But it's all by choice. Psalms 84 says, "How friendly are your houses, O Lord of hosts. My soul longs and even faints for the courts of the Lord. My heart and my flesh cries out to the living God. Yeah, the sparrow has found a house, and the swallow a nest for herself, where she may lay her young. Even your altars, O Lord, my King and my God." You know, David here is not talking about a literal place. When he talks about the sparrows and the swallows in the wild, living in nature. See, the house of the Lord is life. And let me see if I can make this real simple for everybody else. If you live a life where you seek after goodness and good things, then you dwell in the house of the Lord. That's why David longed for that. He longed to be doing good things, forever doing good. All things that live is because of good that these things live. It's a good thing for animals to have a nest and to breed young and to live and to feed and to eat and to move around. And we talk about the sparrows or the swallows because they're birds. They fly high up in the sky. And the higher somebody soars in life, the better. It's all about wishing well of ourselves and others. Let's get into this. This time we're going to talk a little bit about Shazam! Yeah, baby. And there's these stuff circulating. Again, always trying to bash on the DCEU. And negativity is the name of the game. And these people, they seem not to get the hint. So a men's magazine came and said how, Zachary Levi, he has fake muscles in his costume. And they pointed out this costume here, where he's wearing Shazam. That's not Zachary Levi, that's padding. The stupid things that people will say, man. The stupid things that people say. So Zachary Levi, he came and he showed a picture that his friend and trainer was doing, where you can see Zachary Levi's muscles are huge. Let me just say this. Zachary is a 6'3" hulk of a man. He was slim in other movies, but he's a big. Let me show you this. We all remember Ben Affleck, right? And how big Ben Affleck was. Zachary Levi is using the same diet that Ben Affleck was using. This is Zachary Levi before he even started in Shazam. And he's holding a gun here. Look how big that guy's guns are. He's wearing kind of like a skin tight outfit there. Look how big the guy's guns are. This guy's a 6'3" man. Okay? He's 6'3", folks. Okay? Register that in your head. And then you got this big hulk of a man who's eating like crazy. I'm bulking up. That's what you get. Yes, he has on a skin suit with a muscle suit. They call it a muscle suit. Yeah, he has that on, underneath that clothing. But trust me, man, what you're seeing is really the dude. Why would he try and foam up? Or why would he try and fake that? You know what I'm saying? So, it's just the stupid things we see circulated about the DCEU, and always negative, man. What's up with that? You know what I'm saying? So I was gonna put out something on the MCU, but I said, you know what? I was gonna show the other Captain Marvel and what's up with that. But you know what? I said, you know what? Let me just focus on the DCU for a minute, because I'm just so excited about certain things I noticed, and I just want to point your attention to that. So Zachary Levi, when he was getting his hairstyle, you know what I'm saying? He said, "How I look, getting my hair did, got me feeling like," and he showed this character on the side. And it's pretty interesting because on first glance people be like, "That's an ugly Elvis." No, that's not an ugly Elvis. This guy, he was in a children's show, which helps to promote exercise. And he was a villain in the show. And he was a spy. And he existed in a town called Lazy Town. So you guys can go check out that on YouTube. It was a series that ran from about 2013, or I think it was 2013. It's still, I think it's still showing. It's for kids around the world. It started off as a play, okay, and then it became, well, it was also like a little comic, and then it became a TV show, okay. So that's the hairstyle that you're seeing right there. Watch this guy again. This guy's called Robbie Rotten in the TV show. I went and did my homework on that because I was very curious when Zachary Levi put up that photo. And he's from he's shooting in Canada. I don't know if he's from Canada, but I thought that was pretty interesting. If you look at, you know, the hairstyle is kind of similar, right? And it makes sense because remember Billy Batson, he would be influenced by a children's show. So with this magic, he changes into Shazam. This is his impression of what a superhero is. So Shazam would really encapsulate, and since it's magic. So this is Robbie Rotten here. Yeah, he's a skinny dude, but it's the hairstyle I'm talking about. Kind of like an Elvis hairstyle slapped onto his head. And that's what Zachary Levi reminds himself of. And also, look at the expressions on Robbie Rotten's face. It's almost childish expressions. As much as Robbie Rotten's kind of diabolical because he wants the town to stay lazy, it's very interesting that he has these really extreme expressions. And that is also something that Shazam actually has. And I would love to show you that in a minute. So here he is again. That expression is pretty much like Shazam. And let's look at Shazam, for instance. Okay, this is a certain guy on social media. He made this. Of course, this was Zachary Levi making a face, and at the same time, but again, very expressive. Because remember, Zachary Levi's character Shazam is actually this magical adult version of a kid who's either in his early teens or he's in, you know, just about to get into his double figures, right? So it's a young kid. So how Shazam will behave is more like a kid than he would behave like an adult. And this probably is his peers here that the person, the fan is trying to. But this is Shazam here, and this is a depiction from Kingdom Come Shazam. And very interesting thing about Shazam here is that Shazam, look at the mischievous grin on his face. It's almost very happy. You can tell this is a kid that's looking at everyone. And look at Shazam's eyebrows and how expressive he is. Now, let me just pull you back to Robbie Rotten for a minute. Look at how expressive Robbie Rotten's face is, right? Very much a Shazam-like face. And then you can look at some of the expressions that were done by Zachary Levi, right? Zach Levi, right? So you can see, yeah, they fall into the caricature of Shazam, and that's the important thing for you to realize. Here's Zachary Levi showing his depiction of Shazam right there. The Breakfast of Champions, Shazampians. And what's really cool about Shazam, remember Shazam is by magic, so there's a lightning bolt that transforms him, and he really got this magic from an old guy. And I'm going to show you some key things here about Shazam, because I think it's very important for people to understand. Zachary Levi, he actually has a very expressive face, so it really will work, and he has that sense of humor of Shazam. So just imagine Shazam with all the lightning bolts and all that shit that is happening that transforms him into Shazam. And again, look at the eyebrows of Shazam, how extreme his eyebrows are and everything. Just imagine that. And look how huge Shazam is. Shazam is bigger than Superman. He's a hulking character. He's big like Batman. He's huge. And so, again, if you look at the physical structure of Zachary Levi here, Zachary Levi is actually a little smaller than the Shazam. He's actually a little smaller than him. All right, but you can see Zachary Levi is hulking out. He's a big hulk of a man. That literally is Zachary Levi you're looking at there. You can see his ribs right here. And when they add the special effects on him with the lightning bolt and everything, man, I can't wait to see what he looks like if he looks like this correctly, especially when he's expressing his face and everything. Look how huge Shazam is. Look how huge that motherfucker is. He's huge. Sorry about the cursing. Yeah, so moving on. So you guys can get an idea of who Shazam is, what he is. I decided to use this cartoon here so you guys can understand Shazam. And Shazam says, it's not that I can't be mean. I could cuss a bunch and kill all the bad guys and stuff, right? Because Shazam is a kid, right? Remember that. But look, I can't even drive yet. I don't have a bank account. I can't vote or drink. I haven't been to college. I don't understand everything. So until I do, I'm going to use the power I've got to do the right thing. Call me a wussy if you want. I'm just a boy trying to be a good man. Okay, so that in essence is what Shazam is. And that's what he's about. And I thought I'll use this to summarize everything about Shazam, so you guys get the right perspective of Shazam and why Shazam will have comedy. There's no if or buts. This is gonna be a very funny character because you're dealing with a kid who suddenly becomes an adult all of a sudden. Now he has to make these big decisions. He has to be responsible. Plus, he has all these incredible strengths and powers at his disposal. You got to understand that. And just for you guys to get a better perspective of Shazam, I put Billy Batson next to Shazam. And how Billy's reacting here, you see the big Shazam reacting like that because it's really a big man with a little boy's mind. Okay, physically a big man, but internally a little kid. And then when at a certain point, Billy Batson will reject his friend Freddy, who is his brother as well, and he says, "I'm not going to be a kid again, Freddy, ever." Well, what am I supposed to do? That's up to you. If you want to go back, go back. And he's talking about go back to the home. And he says, "I thought we were in this together." And he said, "We are, as much as we can be, I guess. I'm an adult now, and I'm staying that way." "Yeah, you sure are. I don't like your tone. Now you're really starting to sound like an adult." So Freddy's talking to Shazam, which is really Billy Batson. And it's a very interesting story and the dynamic of a child trapped in an adult's body. Well, not trapped. He actually desired to be, and he's got it now. So it's going to be interesting, the dynamic between Billy and Freddy and his family members and all of that stuff. It's going to be very interesting. And this is him transforming here and frightened the 7 sons away. Shazam! And it's just incredible. I can just imagine the transformation, the lightning bolts. Because Shazam, he radiates this lightning on him all the time. So he's got these flashes of lightning where you see the lightning bolt on him. So it's going to be crazy. It's going to be dope as hell. And that's what's so cool about this character. So when I hear people talking and complaining about Shazam's outfit, I'm laughing. I'm like, are you nuts? Are you crazy? This is the new 52 Shazam here. And you can see he's bursting through a wall because he's got all this strength and power. And again, look at the mischievous grin on his face. You know, it's definitely a kid, and the kid is excited he has all these powers, and he could use them for good or for evil. But does he know what good is, and does he know what evil is? Has he really gotten the perspective of responsibility as an adult? He's going to try his best, but we don't know where it's going to lead, right? And so this is what I wanted to share with you guys about Shazam. And if you look at Zachary Levi, he's really the perfect character for Shazam. Because, again, Zachary Levi, he's got the size. He's big. He's huge. He's a hulking guy. And on top of that, he also got the attitude that is necessary to be Shazam. You know, he's got that childlike attitude. And you have to have that approach to really get... And the thing about Shazam that will make this movie really good is the point behind, like they said, they're doing it off of Big. Because of his innocence in many ways to certain things in the world. Yes, he suffered a lot. He's still a child. He's had it rough. He's got his dream. But there's still something else about his innocence, his naivety, just how the world actually still is run. He's street smart to some degree, but he's still naive as to growing up and learning a lot of things about life. So it's going to be very interesting, this movie, for those given reasons. And it'll be nice to see how Zachary Levi pulls that off. Feeding off of the young child star, and will he return to being a child or what? And I don't think Black Adam is in part of this movie. It's another character who's going to be the antagonist in this movie. But the interesting thing about it is just watching this character sort of grow and develop. And that's the nice thing about the DCEU. All their characters have growth. They have development inside of the films, and I think that's a great thing. So the people who are focusing on the minor stuff for the DCEU, once again, you know, I could take them to task and even talk about the other Captain Marvel and really trash that movie down. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't. I just can't. You see, it's not within me to trash movies. I don't like to trash movies. You see, that's not my thing. You know, even the MCU's Infinity War that's coming up, I don't really want to spoil the movie, especially for people who really genuinely like Marvel and they have not been bashing DC. You know what I mean? I don't want to just but I could do it. You know what I'm saying? But I just decided to focus this time on Shazam because that's a really interesting movie, and the director of the movie is really interesting as well, David Sandberg. And so, can't wait for James Wan's Aquaman. We're not hearing too much about Aquaman at the present moment. I hope James Wan puts out something at least to keep us occupied, because Aquaman has just gone under the radar. Nobody's hearing nothing about Aquaman. And I know it's going to be a crazy movie. And just the whole concept of the movie, again, is just something totally different and new. I loved... The thing I like about the DCU movies, though, is that I know there's going to be a strong theme, and it's the thematics that I like that links the DCU together. That's what I really like about the DCU. But I bought into the DCU after Man of Steel anyway, so it didn't really matter.